Ladies and gentlemen, you may or may not be aware that there's 14,000 now right-wing outlets that have TV networks, essentially, because of all the money sloshing around out there. Steve Malzberg on WorldNet Daily Network, I think it is.
Is he on? I think he might be on Newsbusters now.
Who the heck knows?
It's all the same thing.
Had this to say with Ben Stein. Yes, Ben Stein's still kicking around, ladies and gentlemen. Still kicking it old school. You'll recall the last we heard from Ben, he was copping to having a problem with lending money to young, attractive women who he would text in return for lending money, but they always turned out to be jerks to him. I think that's a fair summation. Here he is with Steve Malzberg talking about vaccinations.
So, this isn't, Paul wasn't only talking specifically about autism. He was saying that there's a reaction in that he has seen. I mean, for instance, I know the HPV. My kid is 15. He's a boy. And they keep pushing every year. Do you want the HPV vaccination? Here's why you should get it. They give us a pamphlet. I'm not going to vaccinate my kid so that some, female won't get cervical cancer maybe when she's 60 years old. I mean, I'm sorry.
No, there you're totally right. And if that's what Senator Paul meant, if he meant that certain vaccines have reactions, he's absolutely right about that. And I congratulate him for saying that. But connecting the vaccinations with pretty basic, horrible diseases with autism is just flat wrong.
So there you have it. Ben Stein saying, well, I'm willing to concede a point that Rand Paul didn't make. But meanwhile, Steve Malzberg is complaining that they're simply recommending to his son that he gets the HPV. Now, for men, there's 9,000 or so men a year who get cancer from HPV. And it's either anus, mouth, or throat cancer. And it certainly helps women. A lot of cervical cancer is tied to the human papillomavirus, HPV virus. But, Malzberg doesn't want to do anything just so that some female doesn't get cancer. Oh, my God. Now, look, I can understand. You don't want your kid to get a vaccination but, I mean, do you have to be so disdainful of, I wouldn't even cross the street if it meant that some female's not going to get cancer. Just crazy.
And basically, the whole way that clip goes.
How many divorces do you think Malzberg has had? That's such anger towards.
It goes very deep. There's
I hate my mother.
There's a prom date that turned him down. That's probably created his whole career and worldview.
Right, exactly.
But the funny part about that clip,
the girls all laughed at me. I don't care if they get cancer. I don't care.
My son's going to get a vaccine. So some girl.
Yeah.
That
some girl who rejected would even go to the prom with me.
Go to the prom.
Not going to get cancer. I don't care.
I worked every day of my life just so I could give some lady cancer in her 60s. Right. But anyways, Ben, let's wrap this up. We have to go and talk about...
Ben, aren't women horrible? Yes. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I can't tell you how many women I've loaned money to that
believe me,
won't allow me to text them anymore.
I wish I was in a position to give them the HPV virus. I don't even get that far. And I've given them upwards of $50,000. But look... I know we still have a black segment to get to before we wrap this up, exactly. So maybe we should move on from the vaccine thing. But the 30 seconds before is Ben Stein doing a categorical, vaccines don't cause autism thing. And then Malzberg was like, yeah, whatever. Look, I'm not getting what we just heard. I don't care if a lady gets cancer. And then Ben Stein, she's like, oh, yeah,
right, of course. Definitely.
I hadn't thought of it that way before, of course.
Right. No, you have a great point. I just realized that my contract ran out at Fox. So, yes, you have a great point. I've got a lot of 20-year-old women I want to loan money to. So, yes, great point. Great point.
One time there was this girl, she actually let me kiss her on the cheek, Steve. And that was... Very titillating. I gave her an extra $100,000 for that. That Ferris Bueller money really goes far.
That's right.
When you're a demented, creepy, bizarre, misogynist, racist old man.
Let me just tell you, thank God for flicks on cable, because that have gotten a lot more